Hello, everyone. I'm Audrey Bilger, president of Reed College. It is my honor to welcome you all to the fall 2020 semester. Class of 2024, transfer students, families and friends, faculty, staff, and continuing students, I am glad we can gather virtually at the threshold of this new year. To our newest Reedies, we are so happy you're joining us. You are amazing. You have faced many challenges and have overcome formidable obstacles to make it to this day, and you belong at Reed. As you enter this community, know that we care about you and have faith in your future. 2020 has been historic, and you are beginning your time at Reed in a moment of great urgency. We have our work cut out for us, and the world needs Reedies now more than ever. The Black Lives Matter movement, immigration injustices, political polarization, climate change, and other grave issues confront us and call for action. As we engage in the major work that must be done, we need to take care of ourselves and one another by paying attention to the little things that will keep us safe and keep us together. Planning this school year has required heroic efforts on the part of everyone connected to Reed. We've invested in testing, put up tents for outdoor classes and dining, created opportunities for in-person and online instruction, and established safety protocols and risk assessment strategies. To our incredible faculty, our outstanding staff, and supporters who have cheered us on, provided assistance, and asked tough questions, I am grateful. I'm also deeply grateful to our students for showing tremendous care and concern for each other and for Reed. I have been delighted to see many of you on campus over the past few weeks. Due to the extraordinary circumstances we find ourselves in, some of you will be joining us from afar. And I want you to know that we are reaching out to you and that you are important to us. We will find ways to bring you close. Whether you're here on campus or taking your classes online, I look forward to getting to know each one of you. As we begin this semester, we understand that the virus is still very much with us, and yet we are not helpless in the face of it. Being together has never felt more precious, and until it is safer, we need to be together in unconventional ways to protect ourselves, the most vulnerable among us, and our wider community. We must create new habits and reinforce them again and again and again. We are not helpless and we are not alone. In fact, we've never been more interconnected. Our actions and behaviors have consequences for the health and safety of those who come into contact with us, and for people we may never even meet. We must cultivate a spirit of radical mindfulness, being aware at all times of our surroundings, of what we touch, of the need for mutual protectiveness. We see numerous examples of social irresponsibility around the country, individuals refusing to wear masks and defying safety guidelines, and we see the suffering this inevitably brings. We are a community committed to social responsibility. That is a Reed story. I've been motivated throughout these past months by two sources of energy: belief and gratitude. I believe in the value of a Reed education. I believe in our students, and I believe in the power of this community. I am grateful to everyone who has helped make it possible for us to offer our academic program in a safe environment. As you go through the coming months, if your energy flags or you feel depleted, I recommend fueling yourself as I have done and continue to do with belief and gratitude. Believe in yourself as we do, and know that we are here to guide and support you as you study, explore, create, and question. Believe in the best of Reed, and know that you contribute to the ever-evolving story of this special college. Look for opportunities to show gratitude. When you see faculty, staff, and students, house advisors, peer mentors, and other members of our wonderfully caring community engaged in acts of kindness, taking turns on staircases, showing up to provide assistance, making time for you, reminding you to wear your mask. Take a moment to say thank you. These are the ways we stay close and connected. I know it still feels weird to wear face coverings and observe physical distancing. Our longing for connection makes us want to show our full range of expressions and be physically close to one another. Just know this won't last forever. There will come a time, once again, when we are able to unmask, shake hands, hug, dance, sing, and all be together on campus. We will get there sooner if we practice mindful caring for one another now. I hope to see you soon, and again, welcome. And now it is my pleasure to introduce Milyon Trulove, Vice President and Dean of Admission and Financial Aid.
Good morning. Well, it's very nice to see you all from my office on campus. I have to admit, I miss having you over at the house. I have better snacks there too. But it's good to see you in this venue and back here on campus. We've spent the better part of the past 5 months meeting like this and speaking on the phone. And sincerely, I have thoroughly enjoyed getting to know you over the past year. Now, I could start off by saying this year is different, but you've heard it before. Now, it's different for obvious reasons. But what I think is probably the most interesting is how difficult it was for every one of you to decide. Not only did you have to decide what college you would go to, you had to decide if you would go to college this year. I've been in this profession for many years and never have the options been so diverse or the circumstances more complicated. May 1st was the date that many of you decided if you would attend Reed, but let's be really frank and honest, this was a summer of discernment, a summer of deep thinking, a summer of wanting to find clarity. And even today, some of you may have the sense that your hand is still hovering over the eject button. Deciding is hard. It's very difficult. And if you're like me, one of the challenges of deciding is that when you look forward, the possibilities, there's an infinity. There are endless level possibilities in front of you. But the thing that I've always found interesting is when you look back, that's just the path you took. That's just the decision you made. Now, the reality of deciding Reed is now very real. And now that you've all decided on Reed, I want to invite you to commit. I'm going to remind you of something. Every one of you made a decision to be here. Now, as much as we wanted the start to the school year and the start to this venture to be perfect, we as human beings understand that things are more complicated than that. We also know that there are people here who are committed to joining you on this venture, who will continue to work with you and tirelessly so to realize a possibility of a school year only you could imagine. Only can you progress when you decide. And when you decide and commit, I believe this is the first step of you actualizing the future that you imagined. Whether you were from the almost 40 states that were represented in our union, or whether you are from Belgium, Bolivia, Brazil, or China, France, or India, or Mexico, Nepal, Russia, South Korea, Spain, Taiwan, Thailand, the United Kingdom, Uruguay, or Vietnam, you all made a decision to join Reed on this venture this year. Now, you may all wrestle with the same things. You may wrestle with doubt. Doubt will beg for space in your psyche. Did you do this college thing right? Did you make a mistake by being here? Did you make a mistake by taking classes online? Did you make a mistake by choosing Reed? Now, I know something that others may not, and that's because I've read your applications in detail after spending the last year with every one of you. I know what got you here wasn't simply your grades. Even with an average GPA of 3.95, I know you're more than that. It wasn't just your test scores, your average ACT of 32 and your average SAT, or your median SAT and ACT of 32 and 1400. I know it wasn't just those two things that got you here. And I know it wasn't just the words that your recommenders and your college counselor said, although they said some pretty amazing things about you. One of the things that you've dealt with in your high school career that's a bit different from those before you. This world has thrown everything at you. Everything at you. Gun violence in the hallways. This political news cycle that will not stop. The ceaseless, fashionable, but hurtful critique and cynicism that's disguised as real talk or advocacy that plagues our social media, that plagues our social interactions. Physical brutality inflicted against Black folks, against brown folks, against trans folks, against other gender and cultural minorities. Rising temperatures and hostile weather patterns. And now the Rona. You've had it all. This world threw everything at you for the 4 years as a high school student. And what did you do? You exhibited hope. You exhibited strength. You exhibited endurance. In your applications, you told us that you dreamed of a better future. In our application, we have a really interesting rating system. And one of the things we like to identify are students who understand social systems and their place in the world, students who create community. We develop this because that's who you are. You're people that understand how your actions impact other people, how to care for others, and how to create community. That's you. You told us that you had a role to play in what this world would become, and you said you wanted to take advantage of it. You decided that you were not going to wait for another year to start achieving your goals. And now with about 396 of your classmates, you're set to begin. You will have doubts. I have doubts. A whole lot of other people are going to have doubts. But I'll share this with you. You are under no obligation to own any other person's skepticism. You didn't do it for 4 years. I don't expect you to start now. You started with hope. You decided to join this venture with us, and in hope, I invite you to commit. I invite you to double down, own this experience, to invest in this experience. And in 4 years, you're gonna look back, you're gonna say, that's just the path I took. Welcome to Reed, Reedies. I'd now like to introduce the Vice President for Student Life, Karnell McConnell-Black.
Greetings, class of 2024, and our newest transfer students. As mentioned, I'm Karnell McConnell-Black, but you can call me Dr. K. And I have the distinct honor of serving as your Vice President for Student Life. Before I share a few remarks with you, I would like you to breathe with me. So let's take 5 seconds, inhale, and 5 seconds exhale. Indulge me, please. It's worth it, trust me. One more, 5 seconds in and 5 seconds out. Notice how your body feels at this exact moment. 2020 started as any other new year begins. We create New Year's resolutions, be it health and wellness goals, traveling around the world, taking on a new challenge, or even learning something new. Mostly we tell ourselves this year is going to be different, but who knew it would be this different? A global pandemic arrived on the front steps of our places of employment, our homes and our schools, impacting our daily lives, and complicated by the systemic racial tensions of policies and practices toward Black and Indigenous people of color. This year has highlighted and elevated the disparities for many of our most marginalized communities, whether it be race, social class, gender, ability, sexual orientation, to name a few. So we started by breathing. And for many Indigenous communities, Breathing is a ceremonial act applied to community initiations and religious practices. It is conscious breathing. And the act of conscious breathing can support healing and growth, trigger social awakening, fuel our consciousness of performing ethically, and unlocking dormant powers and abilities. The act of conscious breathing can signal the beginning of letting go and surrendering to a force, or even serving as a marker in time. As you embark on your first year at Reed, I encourage you to breathe. Breathe in and awaken your critical consciousness and awareness. Breathe in the lived experiences and impact of the persons for whom you will now call Reedies. Breathe in as much knowledge, both academic and what I call street cred, social intelligence. And breathe out that compilation of awareness and understanding and action. And leverage the new ways of being and doing to address our current and future social and political climates. At Reed, you will grapple with how you have come to know what you know. It will be uncomfortable and at times emotionally taxing. When you experience that moment, take a conscious breath and lean into that discomfort, acknowledging the state of your current being. It is okay to feel the range of emotions that come with being a learner and an active participant in this community. So throughout your Reed academic journey, many individuals across campus will support your success in and out of the classroom, including our student life colleagues. I would be remiss if I did not take the opportunity to say this. We are in this community together, that we each have a responsibility to ourselves and our community to engage in ways that protect the safety and well-being of our existence. Be it COVID, by the way, wear your mask, wash your hands, keep your distance, or staying aware of Black and Indigenous people of color experiences, and owning the impact of our actions on each other. The current climate we live in is already complicated. Let us not complicate it any more than it already is. You have a role in making our community a better place for all of us. So as you move about campus this first year, remind yourself to stop and breathe frequently. And knowing that breathing, while a human right, is not afforded to everyone equally. So I look forward to seeing you all on campus, and if the Student Life Office and the Student Life staff can be of any assistance, please do not hesitate to reach out. So welcome to Reed, and welcome to your new community. So I want to introduce up next to you, Chen, your student body president.
Hi everyone, and thank you, Dr. K. My name is Al. I use they and she pronouns. I'm a rising Anther senior, and I'm beyond excited for this upcoming semester and to serve as your student body president. I want you each to use orientation to really intentionally think about your privileges and what it means to you to have and to show community care. How can we support our peers and be a part of this institution in ways that are actively anti-racist? What does mutual aid mean to you? How can you show yourself, as well as others, compassion? I hope we are all willing to continue growing and to never be afraid to admit that we are wrong, even when it hurts and even when we don't want to. Community care works when we are each willing to create an atmosphere of accountability and support. Actively working to be anti-racist and to believe in systems that support transformative justice rather than punitive action is part of that work. Speaking of community care, you may have heard about our honor principle, and you might have heard about our Reedy takes on student autonomy. Honor and student autonomy are two big buzzwords or terms you'll hear all the time. And together, I think the terms guide the ways that we fight for the things we hold close to our hearts. To me, it's a way that we uphold our values and that we honor what we care about. It reminds the college that students are what make the college what it is, even if we don't have a seat at the big decision-making table. Again and again, we need to remind and remember that this college exists for and by students. Each of you are here and have a voice, and I hope that you keep finding ways to use your voice to honor your own values. Again, welcome to Read. If you ever see me around, feel free to say hi. I'd love to chat. Up next, you'll be hearing from your student body vice president and music extraordinaire, Apoorva.
Thanks, Al, for your introduction. Hi, everyone. My name is Apoorva. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm your student body vice president. First of all, congratulations and welcome to Reed College. As mentioned, you are entering our community in the midst of a global pandemic and the justified nationwide outrage regarding the senseless killings of members of the Black community. You've contemplated your role in our society and how to amend these very real issues. You've considered how to build a brighter future, not only for you, but for your people too. You're navigating an era in our history that's been defined by your hard work as thoughtful scholars, activists, and human beings. You will continue to pave your path towards what you believe to be fair and just, but now as a Reedy. In Portland native rapper Amine's words off of his new album, you may feel like you're stuck in limbo right now. You might feel a sense of burden trying to adjust to these times. You may feel like you can't decide what your major will be or which clubs to join. You may notice faculty and staff compensating for your feelings by putting in the extra hours to ensure your time here at Reed will still be the best time of your life. You may feel pressure in your palms when you go to your first Human 110 paper conference or professor's office hours. I'm here to let you know, first and foremost, that we are here for you and we can't wait to see what you learn from each other. We hope to see you discover how easy it can be to grow into yourself here, even though you will definitely still miss your mama. And we hope that eventually you may say to yourself, my reality is my fantasy. Shouts out Rene, shouts out Limbo, available everywhere now. To the class of 2024, I can't wait to see you shine. If you see me around, don't hesitate to say what's up. Thank you and welcome to Reed. You will now be hearing from the incredible Mary James, Dean for Institutional Diversity, and A.A. Knowlton, Professor of Physics.
Thank you so much, Apoorva. Welcome, welcome, class of 24 and transfer students. And welcome to parents, family members, friends, faculty, staff, and returning students. Class of 2024 and transfer students, we are immensely pleased that you are joining the Reed community. We want you to drink Reed in. Sometimes that may feel like sipping a cool drink on a hot day, and at other times it may feel like drinking from a fire hose. We want you to immerse yourselves passionately in your courses, be both challenged and buoyed up by your classmates, and to forge friendships that will last a lifetime. Every year at this time, I say to the incoming class that you have, for the most part, grown up in segregated neighborhoods and been educated in segregated schools along the axes of race, ethnicity, and class. I say that learning to live, learn, and build strong relationships across racial, ethnic, and class divides takes skill and determination, and that we are here to help you build those skills. We have invited all of you to the Building Inclusive Communities workshops this week to better understand your own identities and social positioning, and how you can leverage these to listen more deeply, yield to others when appropriate, and lead others into community when you are able. The class entering in 2020 stands apart because you enter Reed in the midst of a global pandemic and a national reckoning about the ravages of systemic and institutional racism on communities of color. Whatever your previous level of knowledge and skill on issues of social justice and intercultural communication, we invite you to deepen your knowledge and to lean into the hard conversations, not by speaking more emphatically, but by listening more deeply. At some point, as you learn to live, work, and play across differences of identity and lived experience, you will need to forgive, and you will need to be forgiven. In this unprecedented moment, we call on you to work with one another to forge a community of care faster and more deeply than the Reed classes that have preceded you. The fall of 2020 puts into sharp focus the centrality of caring for the welfare of those around you, not on your terms, but on theirs. In this year as in no other, your generosity toward your classmates, your professors, and the staff who support you is essential to the success of each individual's college journey. We are here to help, but only you can forge the community of care demanded by this moment. Yesterday, I had the pleasure of working with 75 of you in the first Inclusive Community Workshop. You were open, engaged, receptive, insightful, and gracious and caring with one another. You also admitted that it was difficult at times simply to be in conversation with one another about difficult topics. There could be no better start to building the community we need. I ask that you enter Reed with an open mind, a generous heart, and an adventurous spirit. Again, welcome to Reed. Now it is my pleasure to introduce Kathy Oleson, Professor of Psychology and Dean of the Faculty.
Welcome. I'm Kathy Oleson, the Dean of the Faculty and Professor of Psychology. It's an honor to welcome you, the class of 2024 and transfer students who are arriving, to this new academic year. I also welcome others who are joining us, current students, faculty, staff, alums, trustees, other friends of Reed. I've always loved the rituals of the launching of the school year and that mix of the great excitement, but also uncertainty that accompanies the new beginning. Even as a kid, I would think about all of the things that I was going to learn that year. The potential friends, the new teacher or teachers I would meet. This joy, though, was accompanied by questions and concerns about those new challenges. Would it be really hard? How would I make those new friends? How would I adjust to that new environment? This year, too, includes many rituals. And these emotions, maybe even stronger emotions. Some of the rituals look different, though. Talking to you here from my office rather than the great lawn in front of Reed College. But the ideas at the core are the same. As the Dean of the Faculty, as a member of the faculty, I treasure what's fundamental about Reed. So I'd say a few things today to the incoming students and their parents. Reed is a community that values intensive, personalized student-faculty and student-student collaboration for all students. Faculty are teacher scholars. They're developing courses in their areas of scholarly knowledge, drawing on primary sources, and using contemporary methods. Faculty are scaffolding your learning so that you're developing knowledge and skills and persistence to be able to accomplish increasingly difficult academic challenges. For this fall, with creativity and commitment, faculty came up with a variety of approaches to create this rich academic environment. Some in person, some online, some a hybrid of both online and in person to get that academic environment there. Importantly, though, you have a shared ownership in the education that fosters your intellectual curiosity, your initiative, and your ability to self-critique. You are encouraged to actively question ideas as you grapple with challenging and sensitive areas of study, be it in a spirited online discussion or in a physically distant classroom. Your journey begins with a shared Hum 110 course and ends with a shared year-long senior thesis. For me, to be honest, collaborating with seniors on their senior theses is one of the things I love the most about being at Reed. So everyone keeps saying you're coming to Reed in a challenging time. You may be listening to me while I talk, wearing a mask, sitting 6 feet away from other people, and you're probably experiencing a range of emotions. Great excitement about that class you're going to take next week. Enthusiasm about that new friend that you just made in the residence hall. Maybe some great uncertainty and fear about what's happening in the world. Maybe feelings of hope and responsibility for others. I too am feeling all of those things. But I ask you to join with me and your professors and staff members and other students to be a part of this connected learning community. We're wrestling with meaningful academic questions, trying to keep other people safe, and striving to be more just, inclusive, and anti-racist. We will care for you and we will challenge you because we believe in you. Welcome to Reed and the new academic year. I return us to Audrey Bilger.
Thank you, Kathy, Mary, Milyon, Karnell, Al, and Apoorva. Thanks also to the orientation group who has worked tirelessly to bring you this week's programs and to get you off to a great start. On behalf of everyone at Reed College, I want to welcome you and send you my very best wishes for the beginning of the semester. We are so happy you're a part of the Reed community. Please remember that many resources are available to you at Reed. Take advantage of those opportunities. They're in place to help you thrive. Be happy and be well.